Okay, how many times have you typed how to get abs or best lower belly fat exercises into YouTube? How many what I eat in a days have you watched from your favorite fitness influencers with the washboard six-pack abs? Desperate to figure out what the secret is. What's the hack behind their abs that could grate cheddar? How many hours of cardio have you sacrificed to the treadmill gods in an attempt to just see a peak of definition in your stomach? My guess to all of those questions is a lot. You've probably dedicated more time than you're willing to admit trying to figure out how the bloody fuck you're meant to bring your abs out of hiding. Maybe you've even started questioning whether you have any. You're starting to question whether they're kind of like wisdom teeth. Some people will go through life without them, and some people will have them before they're even old enough to start paying taxes. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk you through exactly how I brought my own abs out of hiding and how I can help you do the same. Because I may not be a dentist and I don't know a fucking thing about wisdom teeth, but I do know a thing or two about helping women achieve incredible transformations and physiques like these. And although the fitness industry tends to rely heavily on overcomplication as a marketing technique nowadays, the process of getting visible abs is actually so bloody simple, which is why I wanted to make this video. Because if you're new here, hi, I'm Elle. I've been in the fitness industry for over 5 years, and my job is to help women change their life through fat loss, body recomposition, running and fitness challenges like marathons and Hyroxes and triathlons. I've gone through my own physique and life transformation. I've lost 10 kg, kept it off long term, built muscle and strength in the gym. And now I spend my time getting faster, fitter, and building a body that's ready for anything. And the women we work with inside Strength 360 all have very similar goals. But for most of them, the first goal they want to tackle is fat loss, which is where this video starts. Because when we're talking about getting our abs to show, what we're really talking about is having a low enough body fat percentage to actually see them. I know you've probably had Chloe Ting's ab workout saved in your favorites videos folder for years, under the assumption that if you keep doing the workouts, surely your abs have gotta come out at some point. But the thing is, that's like wanting to get a mirror selfie in your brand new sports bra, but not taking your baggy top or baggy hoodie off in the process. The sports bra's definitely there, but it's hidden underneath a load of layers. Fat loss is the equivalent of taking your baggy hoodie off to reveal the sports bra. And how do we drop fat? By creating a calorie deficit, consuming slightly less energy than our body requires, forcing it to release the energy that's been squirreled away in our fat cells. And the two easiest ways we can do this are by eating in a calorie deficit and or increasing our energy expenditure through movement. In 2024, I completed a 12-week diet in prep for a photo shoot, during which time I lost 6 kg, most of which was fat mass. Each week, I completed between 500 to 1,000 calories worth of cardio. I used a combination of running, Stairmaster and bike. I increased my step target by 2,000 to 3,000 extra per day, and I was strength training 2 to 3 times a week consistently. I also ate in anywhere between a 400 to 700 calorie deficit every day, which sometimes meant taking my calories below 1,300. And by the way, guess what happened as a result of temporarily going under 1,500 calories? Yeah, nothing. Well, not nothing. Fat loss happened. Fat loss that I've been able to keep off long term, by the way, despite the fact that I'm now eating 2,000 calories plus per day. In losing 6 kilograms, I metaphorically took the baggy hoodie off. That process allowed me to gain more visible ab definition than I have ever had. And I won't lie to you, it felt pretty fucking cool. It still does. And the calorie deficit is point number 1 of this video for a reason. Because if your goal is to get abs to show, then everything else I'm about to say is completely irrelevant unless you've got your body fat percentage down. Next up to bat, what you do in the gym. I want you to put the Chloe Ting workouts down, because there is only so much benefit that can come from doing 300 crunches in 300 seconds. Instead, I want you to think about what you're doing in the gym. Just like you wouldn't expect your biceps to double in size if all you trained was quads and glutes, we can't expect to create more visible abdominals if we're not doing any direct training. Now, don't go getting sucked down the hole of endless crunches and planks. We gotta think bigger than that. We want to target the abdominals in a multi-directional approach. That means we're twisting, we're extending, we're curling, we're training the muscles under load, just as we do for all other muscle groups. And remember that your abdominals are more than just the six-pack that we see on the Women's Health cover magazine. It includes your external obliques, your internal obliques, your transverse abdominis wrapping all the way around to your back, and your rectus abdominis. So we've got to hit it from all different angles if we're to build a strong overall core. And specific abdominal training is something that we wanted to prioritize when we were developing our 4-week free training program. Not just because it will help with aesthetics, which is obviously a goal if you're watching this video, but a strong core is gonna have a direct positive knock-on effect to both the rest of your gym training and the rest of your life. And if you wanted to grab a copy of that free gym program for yourself, by the way, then just use the top link in my description box. Okay, point number 3 is so insanely important when it comes to the process of visible abs, but it is literally never spoken about. And I can tell you exactly why that is. The solution to this point can't be packaged up in a pill or an injection or a powder or even a workout plan, because the problem is anatomy. Some people can maintain ab definition without having to strip down to 5% body fat. For a lot of women, they could strip down to 5% body fat, live off dust, celery juice, and positive affirmations for 4 months, and still not really see much ab definition. So much of the process where visible ab definition is concerned boils down to the amount of luck you received from the anatomical structure genetic gods. There's a few things that we're generally going to come up against in our pursuit for abs. Number 1 is pelvic positioning. For women especially, about 75% of us have some degree of forward or anterior pelvic tilt or rotation, which means we have a slightly arched lower back and our stomach naturally protrudes slightly further forwards. We can control this positioning to an extent by focusing on our posture, but you're never going to be able to fully adjust or change your pelvic positioning. The more of a naturally forward tilt you have, the harder it's going to be to see visible ab definition than someone with a more naturally neutral pelvic alignment. Along that same vein, number 2 is postural issues like scoliosis, kyphosis, lordosis. All of these could potentially cause some issues with how intensely you see your abs. These issues are related to bone structure more so than anything. So although they can be managed and stabilized via strength and mobility work, again, you're never going to be able to naturally adjust your bone structure. And finally, your rib cage. The fucker that protects the heart and the lungs and all of that important shit. The bigger the cage, the wider the chest, the harder it's going to be for females especially to get their abs out of hiding. I wish this was different, but unfortunately I'm not about to drop some magic hack of an exercise that's going to realign your posture or naturally adjust your pelvic alignment. I'm kind of just adding this point in to hopefully soothe some of the stresses that the women who are doing everything in their power to see their abs, but to no avail. Okay, so let's say you've dropped the fat, you've trained your core, and you finally start seeing those abs peeping through. Yes, you think, finally, we made it. That's where this final point comes in, and pre-warning, you're not gonna like what I have to say, because it's a bit of a head fuck, but I say it from a place of care. Okay, you ready? Let me hold your hand. Just like the anatomy lecture I've just given, it's equally important to acknowledge that you will almost never be able to maintain your abs all year round for the rest of your life. I know, it hit me hard too when I figured that one out. And although it may not seem it, trust me when I say that this is a good thing. Now, for most women, the percentage of body fat that is required for them to see those visible, lean, defined abs is probably neither healthy nor sustainable. Now, there are levels to this, okay? It's a spectrum. For a handful of women, they've got a metabolism that's constantly working on overdrive. They're extremely active. Maybe they've been performing a high quality of training for a very, very long time since they were a child, and they've got a lot of muscle mass. So these women will probably be able to hang on to their abs whilst maintaining a very stable body weight and energy intake. Let me be so clear. These women are the minority. For most of us, myself included, it's going to be significantly harder to hold on to your leanest physique year round. But for most of us, it shouldn't be a case that our entire life is revolved around our body fat percentage. Sure, there are seasons where our body composition is placed on a higher pedestal. Big life events, weddings, birthdays, holidays, photo shoots. But for the women that I'm hoping are watching this video, there's probably a lot of our goals that don't really benefit from our lowest possible body fat percentage. Like running marathons or half marathons, competing in Hyroxes and triathlons, challenges that require optimal fueling and eating at a calorie maintenance, if not a bit of a surplus. Or even when your main focus is muscle development. In order to develop muscle, you gotta feed your body, which means that for a lot of us, the abs are the first thing to go. Because you might like the idea of having abs all year round, but you probably like the idea of feeling energized, getting stronger, running faster, having more flexibility in your diet, being a nicer person to be around a whole lot more. And that's okay. That's great, actually. So if you're chasing visible abs, that's completely valid. And now you've got a bit more of a blueprint to work with. Deficit, direct training, specifically using that 4-week program via the description box, and just being a bit more realistic about the anatomy hand that you've been dealt. But make sure that the goal isn't to be living just in that sports bra 24/7. Make sure the outlook is knowing that the sports bra is there, it's doing its job, and you can showcase it when you want. You can take the hoodie off for the seasons that matter to you, and then put it back on go and run your race, lift your PB, live your life, because that's the version of abs that I actually want for you. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the fuss-free, bullshit-free approach that I have to fitness and fat loss. Give this a like to help a gal out, and I'll see you in the next one.